Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review, so I hope you find this one interesting. This movie is a horror comedy from Finland, Finnish language and English language with a little bit of English subtitles, released in 2015, directed by Jonas Mäkinen, and this film is called Bunny the Killer Thing. So Bunny the Killer Thing is set in the snowy mountains in Finland, and there is a local legend about this man-sized rabbit. Now this man-sized rabbit is a failed medical experiment, and now he prowls these mountains with his overly long penis. So his genitalia is his weapon because he is hell-bent to quench his thirst for women genitalia. So he goes around and he stalks out victims in these mountains, and one day he comes across this cabin full of friends. Now these friends are there for the weekend, they're celebrating, having a little bit of fun, they're drinking alcohol, doing drugs, having sex, all the kinds of things that you'd expect from these types of people. And so he thinks that this is his answer to his quest for basically what he says as pussy. This is the only word this bunny knows, is pussy. And so that's kind of like his war cry. And so he lays siege upon this cabin, and to the horror of these people, they realise that basically he is after their genitalia. So he can't differentiate between male and female, so he basically gets to the genitals. If he doesn't like the genitals, he'll rip them apart. But if he likes them, then he gets, very cozy with them. So that's basically as mild as I can put it. So the night is about to go from bad to very bad as this sex predator is relentlessly stalking them through the night. So whether or not they can get out of it in one piece is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Bunny the Killer Thing. This is an incredibly grotesque film. This is a very provocative film. If you're overly sensitive, you're not going to like it. But if you are a fan of Chad Ferrin films, which is a fantastic low-budget American director, you're going to really like this one, because Chad Ferrin has that equal sort of extremity to his films, but done in a way where it's making light of a very serious subject matter. And a case in point, there's someone knocking at the door, which is one of the best low-budget extreme horror films that I've seen. There's someone knocking at the door. It appears to make light of rape, as is the case with this film, but it doesn't feel like it's doing it just for the sole focus of making people upset. It actually feels like it's doing it in the way where you can actually enjoy what you're watching, and it actually understands what dark humour is all about. And that's exactly the case with Bunny the Killer Thing, is that this movie is about rape. This is a movie about a rabbit who has this massive, weapon, as you could put it, and he is doing these horrible things to these women, and initially you would think, okay, this is not all right. This is making fun of rape, violence against women, which is something that, is a very big problem in society. So if you are overly sensitive and you can't really disconnect yourself from those views in the real world, then you're not going to enjoy this film. But if you can take it for what it is, I think you're really going to enjoy it, because I actually ended up loving this film as far as these types of movies are concerned. So it is aimed at a very select few, and that's my biggest problem with Bunny the Killer Thing, as is the case with a lot of other of these films of the same nature, is that you can't exactly watch it with your friend who is only a casual viewer, because after seeing this film, they're probably going to look at you and think you should be locked up in a psychiatric ward, and you're probably not going to have that friend tomorrow. So the fact that it is at a very select few, I think as far as a marketing standpoint is concerned, it's not very smart. But I don't think these directors actually make films for the broader audience, which is something I really like, is because they actually make these films for people who like this style. So they're not making a movie just for a cash grab, and that has to be applauded, and that's exactly the best way I can sum this film up. So if you are easily offended, then you're really going to hate Bunny the Killer Thing. But if you go into it prepared to laugh at situations that you wouldn't laugh at in reality, then Bunny the Killer Thing will deliver. I thought the violence, the gore effects are absolutely fantastic. There is a lot of sexual violence. The places where this rabbit actually puts his penis is very shocking. But as I said, it's done in a way where it's very funny. So you can't help but laugh at it, and it does lessen the impact. And that's why I think these movies work, is because you can enjoy what's going on. And, enjoy might be the wrong word. As I said, if you say you enjoy this film, you're probably going to get, those really weird looks. But if you can take it for what it is, light-hearted entertainment, then you're going to get something out of this film. So the acting was okay, it was over the top, it didn't require great performances. These are characters that are cannon fodder, so you don't really care what happens to them. It's all about the villain of the film, and it's all about how he dispatches his victims, because the way he actually dispatches them was very creative, and at the same time very shocking. There were moments where I thought, I can't believe the director actually went that far. And there's a lot of interest in the film, because you're constantly thinking, how far is this director going to take it? So the interest was there, which is something I was a little bit surprised with. It goes for about 90 minutes, and I thought a film of this nature for 90 minutes, it would run out of steam, but fortunately, it doesn't have a very slow build-up. It gets into the interesting parts very quickly, and it doesn't really outstay its welcome. So the script wasn't that great, as I said. It didn't require anything brilliant, but I actually thought there were moments in that that were very funny. If you've got a gutter style of sense of humour, very juvenile sense of humour, you're going to really like this one. I thought there was a lot of, obviously there's a lot of penis jokes, there's a lot of, female genitalia jokes, and so it just feels like it's an assault on the senses, it's an assault on the politically correct, and it just basically tears down all those barriers. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, I think you're going to like it, but as I said, if you aren't a fan of this type of stuff, then don't worry about watching it. So, other problem I had with the film is that the level between comedy and horror was very much overrun by the comedy aspect of it, but then I thought that that was always going to be the case, because a film like this you're not really going to take seriously. How can you actually be scared of a man in a rabbit suit? Basically, the costume of the rabbit wasn't very good. It actually looked like a human being inside this really cheap rabbit suit, and I think with a little bit more time and attention to the actual look of this villain, I thought it would have been a little bit better, but because the man in the rabbit suit sort of look, you don't really take it seriously, so you're not really that scared. But as I said, a movie about a rabbit with oversized genitalia raping people, how scary can that actually be? Because it's so far out of the realms of reality that you can have a distance, you can disconnect yourself. So they were the problems with the film, but the comedy aspect really works, and so, yeah, this is really going to please, I can see, a very select few, but I can't in good conscience recommend this to the broader audience. So if you are one of these sickos who enjoy this type of thing, then I would recommend you go out there and see Bunny the Killer Thing, and as a result of that, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching me, and I'll see you later.